Thanks very much for that welcome. For the past few years, I've been at Rant Night in the audience, and I have to say that's a far more relaxing experience than this right now. So while I'm probably not going to rant and rave that much, my rant tonight, it did actually start out as a real-life rant. And it started out as a rant really about briefing and about accepting clients' briefs without challenge. But the more I've thought about it, it seems that there's actually maybe a bigger issue here at play. And maybe unchallenged briefs are just a kind of a symptom of really a bigger threat to the very purpose of agencies and what agencies have to offer. So I don't really think that anyone here truly believes that agencies exist to, I don't know, somehow charm clients, kind of calm them or just make them feel better about themselves. I don't really think that anyone really thinks that agencies exist to somehow, make the logo bigger or make some kind of meaningless amendments to Photoshop files. But I wonder then why we so often behave as if that is our purpose. And I think there's a bit of a contradiction there. Now, this next point might sound a little bit academic, but it's kind of a key point, so bear with me. I want to convince you all and remind you tonight that as external agents to your client's business, it's in fact our duty to challenge the information we've been given. And we should do this until, and not before, I think this is a key point, until we have identified a really simple business problem. And it's really just how we stand objectively outside of our client's business as neither colleagues nor subordinates that we're able to drive value and really drive change. And that's actually really the only reason that agencies exist. There's actually nothing else. So I'm gonna share. Really, I'll convince you. I'm gonna share an example that actually gives me great comfort, and I've referred back to myself a few times. In 2014, Apple, which is arguably one of the most famously innovative brands of our generation, decided that they should try and make their own ads. And they had every reason to believe that they could actually do just as good as their agency. Sure, aren't they all creative geniuses? The outcome, fortunately, was that their in-house work consistently underperformed versus the work that their agency produced. So in other words, they failed. I actually had a look for these ads, and they've subsequently been removed from YouTube, so that's not that surprising. So why couldn't Apple make ads as well as their creative agency? I mean, they had the skills, they certainly had the technical skills, they certainly had the money to make great work, but they still failed to do so. And I think it's because they were blinded by their proximity to their challenge, and really to their own brand. So what's stopping us really from identifying the challenge? Is it a question of time? Because if it's a question of time, we certainly shouldn't be starting to work on a poorly defined task. That doesn't actually make sense. You could argue it's a question of information. We don't have enough information. That kind of falls down as well, because apparently we're drowning in data. And I know every research agency in Dublin is completely out the door. So there is research flying around Dublin and insights. So I don't really think I necessarily need to prove that they're just excuses or kind of cop-outs. I think we all we know that ourselves. And I actually think the real barrier is how we think of our clients. And I don't actually think we give our clients enough credit. So, unless we try and understand our clients' expertise in our field, I don't know why we expect them to value ours. If we don't know what they have to tell us or bring to the situation, then why would they pay premium and pay for our time to help solve their problems? And I want to actually prove that almost any client can be and deserves to be challenged. And to illustrate this, I'm going to ask you now to imagine that Kanye West was your client. This was the closest I could get to what I think would be Kanye West's LinkedIn picture. So now I have to say, I actually do quite like Kanye West, but he would also theoretically be the worst client ever. He certainly has notions, as one of my colleagues said today. He would never let you finish. There's no chance there. He doesn't always articulate himself very well, and this is just one of his many very, very confusing quotes, and I cannot do a Kanye impression. But would you believe in what you believe if you were the only one who believed it? I mean, I actually don't know. I don't know. And perhaps most insultingly, he'd probably take credit for your work. I think a lot of people will.
There are going to be people along the way who will try to undercut your success or take credit for your accomplishments.
So Taylor clearly wasn't very happy about this. But I also think that is based on his track record of collaborating and the way he speaks about how his collaborators are the best in their field and how they really push him forward. I think that even Kanye really believes in being challenged in the pursuit of excellence, and that is the path to really good work. And I suppose the point of all of this is not necessarily to talk about Kanye West as entertaining as he can be, but the point really is that our objectivity combined with our creativity means that we have more to offer than I think we sometimes remember. In reality, every single one of our individual competencies is available to our clients without any need to hire an agency partner. We could hire in any creative, any strategic talent, any client service. And this has actually really been made worse by the reduced cost and increased accessibility of technology. So we're holding less and less of those cards. It's not that they can't do these things without us. So the only value, I believe, that we truly add is our ability to view our client's business from both a consumer and even a creative perspective. And really, that's it. So let's stop defining problems through solutions. Let's stop underestimating our role. I believe that a fair challenge is not just a step, but possibly the most important step towards really robust client relationships. And it's when we neglect to challenge clients that we risk damaging these really important relationships. And so to be fair to Kanye, I'm going to end by using another Kanye quote to kind of sum this all up. Because all we want to do is make awesome stuff. And it can actually be that simple. Thank you.
She take my money when I'm in need. Yes, she's a trifling friend indeed. Oh, she's a gold digger way over town.